Thank you so much for joining. I'm really excited. I'm really pumped for today because this is an exciting subject, it's an exciting topic. This topic called vision. This topic called vision. Grab a coffee, grab a cup of tea, just chill out. We're going to be learning together. I hope you are enjoying the lesson so far. We are on lesson number 4 today. We've had 3 lessons already. For those of you who have missed those previous lessons, they're on this Instagram page as well as on YouTube. So go to YouTube, watch it because they are foundations for what we're going to be discussing today. Awesome. I've been hearing so many positive feedback with regards to what has been happening in your own life with regards to this coaching. I know it's going to change your life. Amen. It's going to change your life. So we wait a few moments and we'll get started. Okay, it's 8:01. We'll get started. Welcome to Spiritual Leadership Coaching. Hope you're enjoying the lessons so far. We have had 3 lessons already. We are on lesson number 4. If you're not following us on our social media, we are on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Subscribe so that you are encouraged and inspired on a regular basis. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Andrew Balaranjan. Welcome. I want to really welcome you for lesson number 4. This is a big subject, vision. It's a big subject. What comes to your mind when I say vision? A lot of businesses, a lot of athletes. As a person, we all have a vision. I'm going to be unpacking that with you today. I hope that you take something out of it that you can apply in your own life. I just want to read a quick quote about vision and ideas. It says, "The dreamers are the saviors of the world, as the visible world is sustained by the invisible. So men through all their trials and sins so did, vocations are nourished by the beautiful visions of their solitary dreamers. Humanity cannot forget its dreamers. Humanity cannot forget its dreamers. It cannot let their ideas fade and die. It lives in them. It knows them as the realities which it shall one day see and know." That was a quote that I came across with regards to vision. Any business that you work for, or even if you want to start something, you got to have a vision. You got to have a vision. So I'm going to be unpacking what does it mean to have a vision for yourself. And as we have been looking at the 3 lessons already, is building up on the lessons that we have discussed already. So I'm going to go to a well-known character in the Bible, just to paraphrase. You might know him, Mr. Abraham, right? Mr. Abraham. He wanted to have a child, but he was getting very old. And unfortunately, he was at an age that he could not have a child. But he had an encounter, right? So he was sitting in this little tent and God asked him to come outside. I'll just quickly read that verse for you. And it says, he brought him outside and said, "Look toward heaven and count the stars. And if you're able to number them," and he said to them, he said, then he brought him outside and says, "Look." Okay, so I'm going to be unpacking this vision with 3 things that you can take away. 3 things that you can take away. Okay. Number 1, outside. Outside. Abraham was living in this little tent and God said, "Come outside." In my own life, I was living in Sri Lanka and I moved to New Zealand, right? This is a real life. I moved to New Zealand. So I was living in a little village and I moved from this little village to New Zealand. I always knew in my heart that I was going to go somewhere. I was going to go to a bigger place. Then in this story, we read Abraham had been sitting in this little place and he had to go outside. What do you mean by when you go outside? What is it? How does it connect with vision? So when you go outside, it means you are getting a different perspective. You're having a different eyes to see. Because where Abraham was living, he could not see, he could not experience the things that he wanted to experience. Just like a vision, if you're in a place where you're restricted, your mind is restricted, your thoughts are restricted. Imagine you go traveling. Why do we go traveling? Why do we go traveling? Is it just to spend money? Think about it. Why do you go traveling? The reason why I think we go traveling is because we want to change our perspective. We want to get something different. We want to grab something different. Just like that, Abraham was living in this little tent and God said, come outside. In order for you to go outside, you need to leave your past. You need to leave your past because you're outside. What is your outside for you? Does it mean that you are fighting a new battle? That you're no longer fighting the same addictions that are pulling you down? The bad behavior, the things that you want to get rid of in your life? What is your outside? Where do you want to see yourself conquering these battles where you have been fighting the same battles over and over again? But you feel like when you grab hold of this vision, the three-part things within vision, when you go outside, you are able to see from a different angle, from a different perspective. That's what vision means, having a different perspective, because we can stay in our own lane for many, many years and not grow. And imagine if Abraham was like that in this little tent, and if he said, no, I don't want to go, I want to stay where I am at. You don't grow. I had to grow. Moving from this little village from Sri Lanka to New Zealand, I had no idea. I could not even speak English. I could not even communicate. It was a foreign land for me. But as I moved from this place to this outside, my mind expanded. My heart was open. I wasn't bitter about what had happened in my life. I wasn't sour of that pain that I went through during the course of moving from Sri Lanka to New Zealand, but I had an open mind. And moving from there to New Zealand, that gave me an outside experience. What about yourself? What are you thinking about right now where you need to go from this place to another place? It may not be physically, but it might be in your mind. Your outside might be you want to fight something new. You don't want to be struggling with the same thing over and over again. And that is part of vision, because your outside will enable you and empower you to see things differently, with a different eyes, with a different lens. Because if you're always staying in the same place, you may not grow. You may not grow. Your vision will be the same. Your vision will be the same because you're not stretching yourself. The people that change the world are the ones that are wanting to stretch. As a leader, imagine if you're trying to provide a new suggestion or new idea to your manager. If they constantly shut it down, would you go back to them? But you are growing yourself. As human beings, find your outside. Find your outside. That is a key in order for you to enlarge the vision that you want to go after, the things that you are pursuing, the dreams that you're pursuing, whatever they might be, that it will have an outside. If you don't choose to go on the outside, you'll be getting cooked on the spot. You'll be getting cooked on the spot. What do I mean by that? You will be saying the same forever. Years would go by and you haven't grown. Your capacity to handle pressure hasn't grown. Your capacity to enlarge your mind hasn't grown. What is your outside? What do you need to leave behind right now that you can identify that in your own life where you can say, Andrew, there are some outsides in my own life, just like Abraham. He had to choose. The choice is yours. Nobody can force you. Nobody can make that for you. Only you can do that for yourself. And the force is the universe will send help in those moments. You're outside. Even when I started this course, It was very uncomfortable for me. I've never done this before. I've never done this before. But that was where I was before, was my comfortable zone. But I stepped out in faith. And this is my outside, where I am trying to do something brand new. I've never done this before, but I'm stepping out. This is my outside, where I am training and coaching people on leadership. How do you become a better person? And that is coming outside, because living your outside, your old habits might be pulling you behind. Your old friends might be pulling you behind. The old ways might be pulling you behind. But you know that your old outside is not going to cut it anymore. You have to cut it. You have to make a decision to say, no, I do not want to be partnering with addiction anymore. I do not want to be partnering with bad relationships anymore. I do not want to be partnering with the things of this world where they drag you down, but I want to be partnering with things of this world that will lift me higher. That means you have to say yes to some things and no to some things. You have to choose, because your time is limited on this earth. We all have been given some time, but make sure you use your time wisely. So that's number one, outside. Number two, vision. So as soon as Abraham came outside, God asked him, look up, count the stars. Why didn't God ask him to count the stars while he was inside the tent? Because he couldn't see. The same applies. Whatever your vision is, whatever your dreams are, where you are, sometimes you have to go to a new place so that you can actually see. Your imagination is actually powerful. You may already know this. I just want to remind you of this again. This number two is vision. What do you see with your eyes? How are you picturing your future? Are you picturing your future with blessing? Are you picturing your future with hope? Are you picturing your future with you accomplishing amazing things? What are you picturing your vision? There's a verse that says, it says, write the vision down and make it plain. So have you written your vision down and have you made it plain? You know, when you write something on a piece of paper with a pen and paper, it marks you. There's a mark. It says, I am committing myself to this vision. Because if you don't write it, nobody is accountable. You're not accountable. You will blame it on somebody else of you not accomplishing that vision. I want to encourage you, write that vision and make it plain, because it will do wonders and miracles in your life when you write that vision. Because you are saying, you are committing to that vision, whatever that might look like. It might be that you want to be a better employee. It might be that you want to be a better person as a human being. It might be that you want to do better in your finances. Whatever your vision is, write it in a piece of paper and put the date so that you know that you are accountable for this, and write slow steps on how you're going to accomplish. There's another verse that comes to my mind. It says, without a vision, people perish. Have you got friends that are going nowhere? We all do. We all do. We have friends that are not going anywhere because they don't have a vision for their life. They don't want to accomplish anything. What about you? Because you are special. Because you are tuned in to this leadership coaching training, not by accident. Because you and I, we want to do better in life. We want to grow as a human being. We want to do more, add value to this earth. We don't want to just be takers, but we want to be adding value. And having a vision will anchor your soul. Having a vision will center your life. You will know exactly what to say yes to, and you will know exactly what to say no to, because you have a vision. You are running this life, running this race with a purpose. You're running this race with a vision. Okay, this is what I want to be, and this is what I want to be known for. There's a quote by Henry Ford. He said, if you think you can't, you can't. If you think you can, you can. And whatever you're thinking is your right. Imagine that. Imagine you go through life not having a vision. The people that go off the rails in life are the ones that do not have a vision. Because They're living for here and now. They don't have a vision. Let's say that you want to purchase a home, right? Imagine that you're already picturing yourself in that home, the number of rooms, the bathrooms, the color of the wall, the curtains, that you opening the door. Imagination is very, very powerful. It will anchor you. And you don't have to worry about the how. You will automatically figure out the how as you take steps. As you take steps, you will figure out the how. Even when I first started this training, I didn't know how I was going to do it. But eventually, somehow, some way, I got connected to a friend, and he said, this is what you might consider doing. And here I am, doing it. Don't worry about the how. Write the vision down. Make it plain, and so that you are accountable for what you want to do with your life. All right? Number 3 is belief. Believe. What do you believe about yourself? What do you believe about other people? This is a major thing with regards to vision. Because if you do not believe that you could actually accomplish it, you won't. You won't. It's simple as that. Because you will be saying, you'll be disqualifying yourself. You'll be disqualifying what you have and the skills and the talents that you have. You'll be disqualifying yourself because we are our own worst critic. Imagine me. My English is my second language. English is my second language. Yet I put myself out there to do what I can with the knowledge that I have. What about you? Do you believe the vision that you have written down on a piece of paper that you could actually accomplish it? Only one person that can stop that from happening is you. You are the only person that can stop it. You are the only person, because you can't blame anybody else. You can't blame your parents. You can't blame your boss. You can't blame your wife, spouse. You can't blame anyone. It's you. You are the one that's responsible for making this happen. And as you look at these 3 items, belief is it's like a deep conviction that comes from who you really are. Imagine, I came from a little background. I came from a little small village where I had no idea that I was going to go to New Zealand. But God had a plan. And what about yourself? You might be saying, I'm from this little village. I'm from this small town. All these things are negative talk. They are self-pity talk. We don't want that. You are bigger than that. You can accomplish whatever you put your mind to. And as we look at this subject of vision, I know it's going to change your life. I know it's going to change your life. Because the belief that you have, you can see other people that have accomplished what you're trying to do. And why not you? Have you ever asked that question? What about you? Why not you? What about you? What is your vision? Are you waiting for everything to be perfect? Are you waiting for everything to be all the ducks in a row? What about you? Can you imagine going through life and you come to the end of your life and you think, oh no, why did I not try that? Why did not I start up that business? Why did I not step out in faith and step out for especially about a relationship? Say hello to somebody. Start a friendship, whatever it is. Imagine that. When you go through life, you have got very, very short time. I have short time. We all are given 24 hours a day. But what we do with the time is very, very important. Because when you know that you are running this race with a vision, you're not going to waste time. You're not going to be wishy-washy about your life. You know where you are heading in life. The people that are going to be changing this world are the ones that have a vision. The ones that have the vision. Because just like Henry Ford said, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. I want to encourage you, my friend. Whatever you're going through, you might be going through the deepest, darkest valleys of your life. You might be going through a rut. You might be at your lowest point of your life where you seem like there is no more hope. I'm about to give up. There's no point in my life. There's nothing. There's no meaning. What do I live for? I've tried everything. It doesn't work. You might be saying, Andrew, I want to give up on life. I want to give up. The teachers are saying you are good for nothing. Maybe your boss may have said you are good for nothing. Maybe somebody in authority figure had said that. I don't know what your situation is. I don't know what you're going through right now. But I know this message is for you. Where whatever you're going through, you may not need to know how. But as I shared these 3 things about vision, number 1, outside. So you might be struggling right now, but I want to encourage you, go outside, step out of it, have a mindset that I'm not going to stay where I am at right now. There's more to life than what I'm going through. So come outside. When you come outside, you have a different perspective. When you come outside, you know who you really are. When you come outside, you know that you are more powerful than you think you are. I want to encourage you, think about it. That as you think about the subject of vision, come outside. Number 2, vision. What are you seeing with your spiritual lives? What are you seeing with your imagination about your own future? I want you to think about it. When you think about it, then write it down. Put pen to paper. Write it. Make it plain. It might be that you want to save £100 a month. Put it in paper. As soon as you put it in paper, the how will automatically happen. You will have intuition that you have the answers already inside of you for the how. So without a vision, people perish. So I don't want you to perish. I don't want you to live a life without any aim, without any goal or vision. I want you to be focused. I want you to think about writing that vision down on a piece of paper and reading it regularly. So that will keep your mind and your focus in the right place. And you won't be going here and there. You won't be wandering places. You know what you're doing, and where you're going in life. Number 3, believe. If God had done something amazing in my life, this unlikely candidate, the one that you're listening to, could not speak English. Allow my story to inspire you to come up with your own vision, to come up with an amazing, because you are designed, you are created by the Almighty God. So have a sense that you can accomplish it. If God can do it with me, He can do it with you. There's no difference. There's no difference. I want to encourage you. These 3 things will, if you have that mindset, you are an overcomer. You will become all that God had intended you to be. You won't be living a life of less than. You will have a vision. You will have a vision that's going to change the world. You might be in a business. You might be in the products. You might be in service industry. Whatever your industry is. These 3 things, coming outside, having a vision, and believing it, I guarantee you, you will do great things. You are destined for great things. Thank you so much for joining. I wish you a wonderful rest of the night. God bless you. Tune in tomorrow for lesson number 4, same time. Take care.